Right, so there are quite a few things that I wanted to talk about with pull-ups in particular as I edit the video and get this out the day after on the 9th of June, which is day 530, and this is for yesterday, day 529 on the 8th of June. So, very basically, I wanted to talk about places where I could do pull-ups and also doing different levels of pull-ups, as in ones that I find fairly easy to do, ones that I find more difficult than the easier variants, and then even more difficult than those variants that are slightly more challenging than the easier ones. So I found this place, and I was thinking that I could try and do pull-ups on the pavement part of the structure. I don't really know what it's called, the height barrier, maybe. But I'm just thinking that it's definitely unorthodox, and I have no problem with that. But it could be really unsafe, even when doing pull-ups by the pavement side of the structure, because cars and vans might go there. So this definitely isn't a preferred option. Plus, I'll always be able to use it in between the swings because no one's gonna want to do. I haven't seen anyone want to do pull-ups on the swings rather than just use the swing. I could just be by the edge, if anything, or if people are wanting to go on the swings, then I'll just let them do their thing, and then when they're finished, I'd then go to it. So there is the structure, this height barrier, if I want to use it, but there's also the swings that I'm going to show an image of now. So I'd be using the top part of the structure to do my pull-ups on, and that would be the harder version of my pull-ups. And that leads me on to the second point that I wanted to make with the pull-ups, which is I'd like to, in fact, incorporate all different sorts of difficulty with my pull-ups, because I found yesterday that doing more difficult pull-ups helped with doing pull-ups or getting into pull-up position and getting as high up as I can the first time round in the gym, which is a less difficult variant because of the grip. When you use the swings, you have to basically have your hand, you can't completely grip it. Well, at least I can't anyway. My hands aren't that big, and I don't think anyone's hands are that big where they'd be able to grip the entire bar of the swing. They've got to have massive hands if they were trying to do that. So I'd have to have a more loose grip on the swings because my hands can't get all the way around it. And because that's the case, and because I'm finding it easier to do pull-ups on this harder grip, on this more difficult grip, I'm finding it even easier to do it on the normal pull-up bars in the gym, for example, on your typical ones. And because I've been finding it difficult to make progress without doing this, I think this might actually be a foolproof way to help me. And by help me, I mean help me with any sort of move in general that I'd want to improve on by doing more difficult, by doing easier versions of it, the level that is conventional, like the typical way of doing things, and then the more difficult versions. That could, for example, help me with my bench press. And the easier variant could be like maybe going just negatives, and then the conventional way is just normal bench press, and then the more difficult way is probably I'm not sure. It's something I'd have to figure out. Maybe doing them much more slowly, but very basically adding more resistance, which is what these swing pull-ups are doing, to be fair. Because there's less of a grip for me, it's making it more difficult, and maybe adding a bit more resistance, not in terms of how much weight there is, but in terms of how you do the move, because you have less of a grip, so it's less easy. I'm not sure if that's the way how you describe it. I might be wrong, but it makes it difficult nonetheless. That's what I'm trying to say. So I've got this training style that I've thought of in terms of easy, medium, and more difficult. And I'd also like to switch things up even further by including that and also going fast and slow with the reps. So I'll probably do like a set of fast reps and then a set of slow done reps, like extremely slow. With, for example, squats, I could go down really slow and then hold it for like maybe 10 seconds and then come up and then do that 5 times, because that'd be a lot of time under tension. And to make it even more difficult than just doing that, I could immediately go back down once I've come up to the top and once I'm standing up. That's what I mean. So there's that, and there's also a way that I can make it easier for myself to do pull-ups in the gym, which I saw someone doing. I took a photo of how they did it, and I'll go through that now. So I saw someone using, I don't know what it is, but it's like some exercise ball, but it's like the semicircle equivalent. It's definitely for balance, that's what it's for, but I don't know the name for it. Anyway, I saw someone put this directly below, I saw someone put this directly below the pull-up bar as I've taken a picture of, and I thought that might really help me with doing pull-ups, because it'd make it easier to not just reach the pull-up bar, which I can do without, but also help myself lift up to then do my first rep. So I was thinking maybe having that as a means of making conventional pull-ups easier, and then eventually, once I've carried on building back strength, then I'd just completely remove it because I wouldn't need it anymore. But then again, with the help of the swings, doing pull-ups on the swings, I eventually am not going to need that with the help of doing the pull-ups on the swings, as I've just said, but also doing progressions to conventional pull-ups too, and the conventional pull-ups, just combining them all together and doing slow reps and fast reps, as I said, to help myself control the reps with each sort of pull-up variation. Doing easy equivalents would help me because it would allow me to build the mind to muscle connection, which I didn't have with pull-ups, which I was able to do with the help of the swings, the more difficult one. But just in case I'm finding it difficult to get the mind to muscle connection on a more difficult variant, then I can do it on an easier variant. It could have just been by chance that I was able to feel the mind to muscle connection more with the help of the swing compared to conventional pull-ups. Maybe I felt the mind to muscle connection more and could do pull-ups or get into pull-up position more easily now because it's necessary, because of the grip, because I can't grip my whole hand around the bar. There's a lot less room for error because it's more difficult to do. So if you're not doing it correctly, it will be obvious. I did this off camera, and nearing the end of the video, I actually show myself doing some pull-up progress with the gym pull-up bars without the exercise, the semicircle exercise ball on the floor. That's what I'll call it for now, before knowing the name. And if you've seen previous logs of me trying to do pull-ups on these gym pull-up bars or conventional pull-up bars, I think you'd probably be able to agree with me and say that my strength has increased. But I'll leave that for the end of the video, because that's when the clip of me doing it comes in. But for now, I will let the footage play. Got pull-up footage and a few reps with the lower body workout. It would have been nice if I'd done more, but I'd done maybe 2 exercise sessions before, or 2 different types of exercise sessions beforehand. I think I'd have to do intense exercises or longer sessions more than once a day if I want to have more effective workouts all in one day. But I'd have to be careful with that because my knees, even the next day at almost 10:35, maybe 10:33 in the morning, according to the clock on the wall, as I'm in the front room, my knees are still hurting a little bit, and that's the both of them. At my age of 21, I've got to really be careful. That's saying something. I'm at this age. I'm very active, but yet my knees are hurting from doing all these exercise sessions. I think that's definitely a sign that I should take it easy. But especially at this age when my body's more forgiving, that's what I mean. But I will now let this footage play of me doing pull-ups and also a few squats here and there in pursuit of doing a lower body workout. I thought of doing calves, but I didn't in this session because I just forgot. But I did train calves in that day, seeing as I did dips. Now, with all of that being said, I will now let the footage play. Here goes.